Once upon a time there was a princess, a pretty little girl, and she had a pretty little ball. A golden ball, and she used to toss it. She tossed it here, she tossed it there, she tossed it back over there, she tossed it... Oops! It slipped out of her hands, rolled down the hill, leapt over a little stone wall, and went bloop into a pond. Oh, you can imagine her chagrin. Well, she dashed down to the edge of the pond, and there she tried to fish the ball out. But, wouldn't you know it, she was wearing a long-sleeve gown, so she could only get, like, her fingers and up to about here into the pond, and then she was just not about picking duckweed out from her fingernails. French manicure? No. So what was she to do? Well, she did what all princesses do when they're in dire circumstances. She wept. She sat down on the ground on her little bustle and wept. And, of course, everything around her took pity on her. Why, even the grass... Okay, the grass did not take pity on her. But there were birds, and the birds stopped chirping, and there were deers and bunnies, and they all hung themselves from the branches because they were really upset that she was upset. Well, from out of the pond comes this frog. Little green thing, French people eat the legs, you know the story. Hops right up next to the princess. He goes, "Oh there, princess. What's the matter?" And the princess says, "I've lost my golden ball." So the frog is like, "Okay. If I get you back your golden ball, you have to do something for me." And the princess says, "Anything to get back my golden ball. It's golden." So the frog goes, "I get your ball, and you must invite me up to the castle for dinner and give me a kiss." And the princess is like, "Yeah, okay, fine. Get me my ball. It's gold." The frog goes bloop back into the pond. A minute later, he struggles, pushing the ball like Sisyphus up the hill with his rock onto the grassy lawn. "Your ball, your Majesty." "Royal Highness, I'm not queen yet." "Your Highness." "Very good." She snaps up the ball and she goes, "Hey!" Tosses it here, tosses it there, and she leaves. That's right, she just stone cold leaves. The frog is in the dust. She goes back up to the castle. "Time for dinner!" Closes the door. Gone. Well, the frog is like, "Oh, yeah. Oh, this place hard to get. I kind of like that." And he hops up the trail to the castle. Well, the king and the queen and the princess are all sitting down to dinner. Very rich, very refined people, very good manners. And there's this on the castle door. Who is it? It's the frog. In comes some guy with a weird haircut and little, poofy clothing, and he goes, "Your Majesty, there's a frog." And the king says, "Oh, well, he's one of my subjects. You must well let him in." And the frog comes hopping into the dining room, and the prince is like... And the king and the queen are like, "Oh, hello there, precious little frog. What brings you to our table?" And the frog says, "Well, the princess knows me. We had an arrangement." And the queen is like, "Darling, is this true?" And the prince is like, "Oh, whatever. Okay, fine." And she told the whole story. "My little golden ball, bloop, pond frog, deal." Not kissing a frog. And the queen is like, "Well, dear, a deal is a dear deal." The queen's like, "Well, dear, a deal is a deal. Looks like you're going to have to put out for the frog." The frog is like, well, it won't take very long. Come on, let's get on to it." The prince is like, "I don't think so." And she screams and runs away, leaving her food on the plate, up to her room. She's in her room. So the queen and the king look at each other, and they look at the frog, and the frog's like, "Pardon me." And he hops up the stairs to the princess's bedroom. Bloop, 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 bloop. On the door, and the prince is like, "Go away!" And the frog is like, "This is a medieval castle. They weren't known for leaving a lot of refinement in their architecture. I can just slip under the door, honey." And he does. Bloop, right under her door, because it's a medieval castle. It's not that much space. So he's in the bedroom. He's like, "Well, honey, I may seem detestable to you, but I guarantee you, I don't give what such a little wise tale. So why don't say we get on with it, shall we?" And the prince is like, "Oh, no, not kissing you!" And she scoops him up and she throws him against the wall. The frog hits the wall. Spat! Slides down the wall. Now here's the thing. In the original Grimm's fairy tale, They're used to acts of violence against amphibious creatures who can speak. But in the story we're all familiar with, that's not what happens. The frog hits the wall, slides down, and his spine is shattered in 3 places. The princess, who was actually a subscriber to the PETA newsletter, takes pity on him, picks him up in her hand, and goes, "Oh, well, you know, if you really think it'll help." And she kisses him, and poof, there's purple smoke with lots of glitter in it, and when it clears, there he is, studly and gorgeous. He promptly leaves her room, goes downstairs, and gets the guy who answered the door, because of course he's gay. Makes out with the guy in the corner for a while, and then leaves. Start a little bed and breakfast somewhere on the other side of the pond. And the moral of the story is, if you're a princess, you might as well turn to lesbianism, because you really just have no choice, because you're living in an archetype that the feminists are going to come along and deconstruct at some point anyway. You just don't want to be deconstructed by feminists in the 21st century. You know what I'm saying? Because otherwise you're just going to have to run for office.